So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the potential matchup between Dan Azeez versus Joshua Buatsi. Now this will be a domestic British clash with no title online between two prospects in the light heavyweight division. So both fighters are ranked quite highly, do you know what I mean, in the light heavyweight division. You've got Joshua Buatsi, who is currently number 1 with the WBO, number 3 with the IBF, number 2 with the WBC, and number 1 with the WBA. He's also ranked in the ring ratings as well at number 7. Whilst Dan Azeez is currently number 8 in the ring magazine ratings, number 3 with the WBO. He's number 5 with the IBF, number 3 with the WBC, and number 2 with the WBA. So this, you know what I mean, we'll see these guys potentially go up against each other, you know what I mean, in a non-title, as I said earlier, British domestic clash. And it's pretty much to kind of see who is the best South Londoner boxer at this weight. Both guys know each other quite well. They've done many rounds of sparring in the past. And they're outside of boxing, you know what I mean, meant to be, you know what I mean, fairly good friends with each other. So it'd be quite interesting to see, do you know what I mean, who gets one, you know what I mean, who will probably shine in this fight. I could probably say that's probably the best way of kind of putting it, really, because clearly they would know each other's styles because they've shared the ring on multiple occasions and done many rounds with each other. So realistically, they both may know, or one may know that, you know what I mean, they will win this fight. It just depends who will win the fight. Well, Joshua Buatsi, you know what I mean, he's got a lot of pedigree behind him. Do you know what I mean? He's won the British light heavyweight title back in 2019, amongst other, you know what I mean, medals, bronze medals at the European and 2016 Olympics as well. So he's got a lot of pedigree behind him. And there was a lot of high hopes for Joshua Buatsi to potentially have been like the next best thing at the light heavyweight division, but things kind of fell off, you know what I mean, over the last 4 or 5 years for him, and his career hasn't really panned out to be what it should have been. And maybe now this is his chance to potentially show people what he could do in the boxing ring. And after this fight, if he wins, you know what I mean, maybe try and challenge some of the bigger and better names in the division. You've got people in the division like Anthony Yard. Do you know what I mean? He's not long ago fought, obviously, Arthur Beterbiev, who is pretty much the man in the division. He's got 3 of the 4 belts, and then you've also got Dimitri Bivol as well, who has the WBA belt. And then you've got other fighters in the light heavyweight division in world rankings, such as Joe Smith Jr. Again, had a good fight against Beterbiev, but just come unstuck. And then you've got other people like Lyndon Arthur and Durrell, which are up there as well in the rankings. And these are some good names to put on his, you know what I mean, resume before he could potentially move up to the next weight category, which it just depends, really. Can't really see that happening at the minute, but who knows what Joshua Buatsi could do. But certainly, he needs to probably get, you know what I mean, he needs to get a move on, really. He needs to start laying down some foundations and start getting some good names on his record. Whereas Dan Azeez, on the other hand, you know what I mean, he's had to do it the hard way. Do you know what I mean? He didn't really go to the Olympics and won all these medals, etc. You know what I mean? He had to do it the hard way as a professional. Obviously, he won like the area title, the English title, the British title, the Commonwealth, the European, and now he's trying to step up to world honours. This will be, you know what I mean, the biggest name on his resume to date. So if he could claim a victory over Joshua Buatsi, someone who he knows and has shared the ring with well in sparring, then, you know what I mean, the only way is forward, really, because depending on what happens, I mean, I'd say now within the next 18 months, a lot of these titles, especially you know, I mean, the ones that Arthur Beterbiev has, could be vacated if he decides to move up or loses. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got a tough fight coming up against Callum Smith. So yeah, there's an opportunity there for Dan Azeez to maybe try and, claim a version of the world title. And he's in, the rankings as well. He's ranked, as I mentioned earlier, is ranked quite highly in the light heavyweight division. So if he could get a win, do you know what I mean? Keep climbing that division. Once all the titles vacate, then he'd be in good stead to try and get a mandatory position. But anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in regards to this fight between Dan Azeez versus Joshua Buatsi. Potential. There's no date or venue or anything like that set in stone at this present moment in time. As I've recorded this video, do you know what I mean? Dan Azeez, is fighting this weekend, so potentially, he should come up against that. I think he's fighting in Italy. I don't know the guy that he's fighting, but if he does win that fight, then potentially, like as he said, the contracts are signed. So hopefully this time next week we should get some sort of date and clarification of where it will be, when, etc., and the purse splits. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in regards to this matchup. Bless.